are dying, my friends. Dead. Gone. No one wants them. Nowadays, everyone wants a crossover or an SUV, which does make sense. Why get a small car with limited cargo space when you can get something that's bigger and now, thanks to new technology, just as efficient? But SUVs and crossovers, they have a problem. They can be mundane and a little bit boring to drive with their size, which is why manufacturers in the last few years started creating psychopaths that make these larger craft fun to drive, such as the Jeep Trackhawk, which scared the absolute shit out of me. And the Lamborghini Urus that did the same. But before those roamed the road, there was this, the pioneer of go-fast SUVs. A GMC SUV so cool, Clint Eastwood drives one.
What does Clint Eastwood drive? Do you have? Can I guess what you drive? Because I think people would guess that you drive like a muscle car. I think you drive a truck.
I drive a Typhoon, a GMC Typhoon.
I've never heard of that ever.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's actually a turbo V6. It's fast.
Yes! All right, that's it.
An SUV that has a towing capacity of exactly 0 pounds. So the only thing this thing can haul is ass. This is the 1992 GMC Typhoon, and it's an all-wheel drive, turbocharged V6 SUV that spanked Ferraris in a straight line. This thing's whack! So we start with the motor, which is really what this thing's all about. This is the General Motors Iron Block LB4 V6, which is essentially 3/4 of a Chevy small block V8. It was used in many GM cars and SUVs at the time, and in all those applications, it produced a measly 190 horsepower. But using Corvette spec fuel injectors, a single Mitsubishi turbocharger putting out 14 psi of boost, and a Garrett water-to-air intercooler, it now produced 280 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. Just remember, this was at a time when most sports cars were just barely eclipsing 300 horsepower. This one does make just a hair more than that thanks to a front-mount intercooler, an upgraded turbo, an atmospheric wastegate, headers, and a full exhaust. And boy, does this thing make some wild noises. Makeup, the Typhoon could hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.3 seconds, quicker than a Dodge Stealth RT Turbo and Ferrari 348 at the time. It blasted through the quarter mile in 14.1 seconds at 95 miles an hour, and onto a governed top speed of just 124 miles an hour. Who would want to drive an SUV faster than 120 anyways? But what's most impressive is its top gear acceleration. Like when you're gonna pass someone. Motor Trend clocked a time from 30 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds. I believe it. That power is sent to a 4-speed 4L60 transmission, same one found in the Corvette at the time. You even put the Typhoon into gear using the same shifter from the Corvette. Power is then sent to all 4 wheels because, as I said, this is all-wheel drive. It actually uses the same 4-wheel drive system from the Chevy Astro van in a 35% front, 65% rear power split. And what's just as impressive as its speed is its ability to bleed that speed off. It can go from 70 miles an hour to a standstill in just 185 feet. And that's quicker than the Ferrari 348 TS at the time could manage. The suspension of the Typhoon is lowered and stiffened. It sits 3 inches closer to the ground than a standard Jimmy does. That suspension allows the Typhoon to clock 0.79 Gs of lateral grip on a skid pad. This is an SUV from the 90s we're talking about here. Most 90s SUVs would have clocked 0.79 rollovers trying to do the skid pad. But this isn't just some hodgepodge of parts from a parts bin to make it go fast and that's it. It's just like a regular SUV. The engine starts up and runs smoothly and it's reliable because it was put in everything. It's got a semi-firm ride, but it's not painfully stiff. That's what she said. I'm a child. The interior isn't quite up to BMW standards. It's typical GM plastic. But as I say with the C5 Corvette, this is a perfectly fine place to conduct the business of driving. Driving fast. You won't be paying much attention to the interior when you're mashing the throttle from a stoplight. It's even got features that you would expect from more than an SUV at this time. Comfy power leather seats, power locks, power windows, a leather-wrapped steering wheel comes factory. This one is equipped with an aftermarket Momo one. No complaints there. Keyless entry and ice-cold AC. It's even got the nice ball chiller vent down below here, which I don't know why manufacturers got rid of. It's so nice on hot days like today, having that chilly willy vent. We can even see how much PSI our turbo is producing on the boost gauge on our gauges, borrowed from the Pontiac Sunbird GT. And in case for some reason that's not a big enough boost gauge for you, they even installed a Pro Comp aftermarket one up here on the pillar for you. Low-slung suspension and low-profile tires mean that the Typhoon has to sit on the sidelines and watch as all the other SUVs play in the rocks. The Typhoon can handle all the main things an SUV is used for. You sit a little high up because it still is an SUV. You have enough cargo space for a month's worth of groceries for a normal person, or maybe a day's worth for me. It coddles you and your passengers in these big plush comfy leather seats and offers power amenities. It can battle through the roads during winter storms and still had the straight line speed to keep up with Corvettes. It's not as much of a fast truck as it is a fast anything. It's fast. Now, unfortunately, aside from a handful of prototypes, only 4,697 Typhoons were built by GMC, 2,200 for 1993, and 2,497 for 1992, making this thing really pretty rare, which also makes this a very special experience for me. I've never even seen one of these in person, in real life, and with all the car shows and car events that I've gone to, that's pretty crazy. So this is a pretty special one to get to drive. Thank you very much to my friends over at Northeast Auto Imports for allowing me to review this 1992 GMC Typhoon. I'll include links down in the description below to their website and social media, so you can check out the very wide array of interesting cars, trucks, and vans that they have available for sale. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy motoring.